My father, Gustavo Gomez, is one of the best dads anybody can ever have. He is the hardest working person I know. He's a chef at the Claremont Hotel, so he cooks us weird food every time he's not working. I sometimes don't know what it is, but it tastes really good. He's a very caring dad for our family. He would protect us at any cost, and he wouldn't let anything happen to us. My dad was born in a little town in Mexico called Michoacan. He was a hard-working boy for his mom and dad. He and all his brothers worked in the fields growing fruits and vegetables so that they could help support the family. Years passed and my father grew older. He started buying groceries for his mom from a house close by, and that house was ran by his future mother-in-law. He met her daughter and struggled to stay with her because her mom didn't let her have a boyfriend, so most of the time she had to sneak out to see him. If she would have gotten caught, her mother would have punished her in a harmful way. Soon they became boyfriend and girlfriend. A few years passed and my dad wanted to live a better life, so he decided to come to the U.S. He told my mother that he was leaving and my mom didn't want him to leave. He said that he was also going to stay in contact, and he did. So once he arrived to the U.S., he started living with his brothers that already lived there. My father got a job cutting grapes, but it was only temporary. Once the season for grapes was over, he started working in the restaurant preparing food for the customers, and stayed for a while. Later, he went back to Mexico for a visit. Then he came back to the U.S. to continue working on the same job. He eventually went back to Mexico and got married to my mother and stayed for a couple months, and asked my mom if she wanted to come to the U.S. with him, and she surprisingly said no. So he went back to the U.S. to work in the same job that he was working for. He went back to Mexico and asked my mom if she wanted to come to the U.S., and this time she said yes. So he brought my mom back to the U.S. They came from Michoacan to Tijuana in an airplane, and from Tijuana they took a ride that my dad had already paid for and went to San Diego. Then the coyote took my parents to this house he had in the U.S., which also had 15 more people. And from there the coyote gave my parents luggage with clothes in it. The people that were there were also immigrants. They were really hungry, so my dad told the coyote that everyone was hungry, and the coyote left to the store to buy groceries, and came back with 2 pounds worth of food, and there were 15 people to feed. But that food didn't last long, and it all finished very quickly. Plus they were still hungry, so then my dad told the coyote person that the food didn't last. So the coyote told him that the kitchen was right around the corner, and that they can cook whatever they want. So my dad cooked eggs with sausage for all the people. The next day, the coyote took my parents in a car to the airport in LA, and they flew to San Francisco, where my dad had already had a ride for my mom that he paid for. From the plane, they got a ride to the apartment he had in Oakland, California. They stayed in apartments for a while, and my dad soon became an awesome chef and started his current job at Claremont. My mom soon gave birth to my older sister, Jennifer. Then 11 months later, she gave birth to me. 6 years later, she gave birth to my little sister, Elizabeth. Today, my family owns a house in Concord, California. My parents have been living here happily for 17 years. I'm proud of the struggles they've survived and the sacrifices that they've made for my sisters and me. Los quiero mucho, mamá y papá, y gracias por la vida que me dieron. I love you.